Hello, everybody. This is Jessica Marino-Krenz with the Equip Show, where we are highlighting nonprofits in our community and the awesome work that they are doing. I'm a very special guest with me today, Miss Morgan Rye-Kraft, the Director of Programs and Community Engagement for Launchpad Home Project. Morgan, how are you doing?
Good.
Good. Thank you for being with us. Really excited for you to kind of tell everyone what you have on the horizon today. First things first, though, I'm going to have you start. Just give us your 10-second spiel of who you are and what Launchpad is, and then we'll dive into it.
Yeah, well, like you said, I'm the Director of Programs and Community Engagement. So my job is basically just to kind of execute our programming here at Partnership for Hope, specifically the Launchpad Home Project, and then just kind of keep the community involved and engaged with what we're doing to serve young adults aging out of systems of care here in the greater Omaha area. So foster care, juvenile justice, homelessness, anything like that. Partnership for Hope is here to kind of help resource navigate and provide material resources for those young folks.
That's amazing. And I know recently you just had a rebrand. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, so we're still Partnership for Hope. That's still like our 501c3 entity. That has not changed. Really, we've just been streamlining processes. We onboarded a new executive director last fall. So the past couple of months, we've really kind of just tightened how things operate here. We've obviously doubled our staff capacity from 1 to 2. And then, yeah, I know it's very exciting. I've been very grateful to him. But yeah, so we have historically had kind of our Youth Mart program and our Partnership for Hope mentoring and our truck brigade, and then some other like community collaborations that were kind of all operating in more of like a siloed fashion. We have now finally kind of pushed those all together and made kind of 2 wings of programming that are more consistent with kind of the overarching partnership goal to support those young adults. So we do have, we've rebranded the Youth Mart side to the Launchpad Home Project. That's kind of our material resource division, where we're focusing on kind of the physical goods that young folks need to thrive: furniture, pantry, hygiene, products for babies and toddlers, and then kind of that Never Alone mentor network, where that is kind of the heart of what Partnership for Hope has been in the past. That is now more streamlined between those 2 programs. So they kind of work together. Whereas historically, they were actually two separate programs. They've historically even been operated as different nonprofits, and now they're all one thing. So it's been a long time coming, and we're very excited to finally have it kind of all working together.
Yes, very, very exciting. So how did you get to Partnership for Hope originally? Kind of what did your journey there look like?
Yeah, I was actually connected through our sister agency, Access Period. Kristen Lowry is on our board here at Partnership and had spun Access Period off from what she saw at the Youth Mart as far as period poverty and the need for menstrual products for the community at large, young people, obviously, in our context, but just combating that period poverty. She's just a personal friend of mine and kind of plugged me into the Youth Mart side. I have a passion for sustainability and landfill rescue, and was just looking for a place to plug in physical goods from the community that people didn't want, that wasn't just tossing them because no one in a Buy Nothing group wanted them. So she told me about Youth Mart. That was in 2021, I believe. And I did that in kind of a volunteer capacity for about 2 years. By mid-2023, the former executive director and our founder, Dave James, was like, "Would you like an actual job here? You basically live here." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that would be so great." So yeah, I started on in like a part-time capacity as the Youth Mart manager. That grew quickly into a full-time role. And then recently, once we brought Sean on as our first full-time executive director, my role has kind of shifted into that program development and community engagement side. So
I love
clear
that.
as mud, right?
Yeah, no, I love it. It's all good. And shout out Access Period. So we have a couple of things that I want you to kind of explain to everyone. I guess let's start with, what is the process for getting things to Launchpad? What does that look like when someone has extra whatever it is laying around that they want to support you with?
Yeah, so specifically with the large items, that has a little bit more work to it, but everything is going to start out with just sending us a text or an email to figure out what you've got, when we have space for it, and when we can get it. If it's small items, we would just get you scheduled to bring those to us. Hey, I found some sheets on clearance and I have a couple of lamps from our spare room. I just want to bring them out to you. Cool beans will get you on the schedule. With the larger items, similar process, but we do ask for photos of those items, just again to help us identify how large are they, what shape are they in, and then if you need them picked up. So then we can also get that on the calendar for those bigger things. We will set up a time, again, based on that size of the item. We'll come and bring it, like we'll come and pick it up from your home and bring it back to our warehouse. We have a volunteer truck brigade that provides that. They provide their time in their trucks to do that on Friday mornings. And then we also, in the past year, have added a conversion van. So either myself or our other staff can come and literally just unload whatever you've got, and we'll load it up into the van and bring it back to the launch pad. So, but everything does start with just sending us a message so we can kind of identify what truck we're going to send, when we can get out your way, or when we could get you scheduled to come by.
Awesome. Is there anything that you guys don't take?
We do. Our biggest thing is quality. We want to always make sure items do not need to be fancy, but they do need to be clean and dignifying. The root of everything that we do is kind of that community dynamic where our young folks have something to offer to the community as well. This is not just a charity provided to them. So we want to make sure that they feel valued in that way as well. So as long as something is clean and functional for a young person, we do kind of stay away from specialty things or really oversized items, just because think back to when you were 22 and living in a 400 square foot apartment. You probably don't need a 30-seater sectional and a hot dog cooker and anything crazy like that. But if it's something clean and functional and you think like, hey, some young person in their first home would benefit from having this, I don't want it anymore, we'll figure out a way to snag it.
That's awesome. And what about those items that are always in need? What are kind of the top ones that you guys are always looking for?
From the furniture aspect, we always need like mattresses, twin, full, and queen. We do kind of stay away from kings. Just kind of depends on what our availability is, just because they are giant and floppy and heavy.
Hard
but it's
to
also
move.
not. Yeah, they're difficult. Yeah, we always need mattresses. Again, stain, odor free. We do heat treat all of our mattresses and sofas and stuff. So even though we've never taken anything that we had any concerns, we do want to make sure we have that additional layer of peace of mind. But yeah, as far as the larger items goes, mattresses, sofas, dressers, dining sets, and then all kinds of smaller household items, literally anything you'd need to just move into an empty apartment, lamps, bedding, shower curtains, kitchen stuff. We take all that. And then we also have a full service food and hygiene pantry. So we have fridge, freezer. We could take any kind of food, shelf stable food, hygiene products, everything from shampoo to diapers to menstrual products. We kind of try to have it all be in a one-stop shop. So
that's awesome. Yeah. So what about the other side? How do the kids that are moving into the, or not kids, but the young adults that are moving into these apartments get your services?
Yeah, so we operate on a collaborative model. So we are up to about 30 collaborative agencies and consistently adding more. Those agencies kind of come out, they meet with us, they onboard to our process, they learn about our programming, and then they bring their clients to us. So that, I mean, they're working on all sorts of programming, independent living programming through state programs or other nonprofits, mental health therapies, all sorts of stuff. Those caseworkers will physically bring the clients to us, meet them on site, kind of introduce them to us, help them shop for their first batch of items. And then from there, they can opt into those other programs that we have. So typically the way the pipeline kind of works is they come out for an initial big shop to get furniture items when they're first getting settled in their new place. From there, we often see them at our monthly resource day events where you can come in just for like an open house style pantry shop. And then at those resource days, we provide opportunities to opt into our mentoring programs or just spreading the word about other programs with our collaborative agencies that might be going on at that time. And then we just kind of see what they want. It's all very young adult led. They're not required to participate in our mentoring program or any other programming at any other community partner to access the physical goods at the Launchpad. Those are there, just no questions asked other than, are you 26 and would this be useful to you? That's all I need to know.
Okay. So do they have to be a minimum of 26 or?
26 or under. So they're eligible for our programming through their 26th birthday.
Oh, perfect. Okay, awesome. And
So
I guess
usually most of our clients are between 18 and 26 because they will be aging out of, foster care or whatever system that they're coming to us from at that 18, 19 range. And then there's, again, a wide variety of transitional programming that they might be working through and with. We just want to be there kind of as a consistent support while they may be moving either within programs or finishing up with programs. We just want to make sure that that ongoing support is there during that really transitional time period. No matter what your life circumstances are like, that 18 to 26 period is just, there's a lot going on. You're an emerging adult. You're just figuring out who you are and what you want to do. And there's education and kiddos and transportation and everything else that happens in the world. We just want to make sure that you kind of have that base, that home base starting point for whatever's going on in your life. And that's really why we rebranded it to what it is. We want that Launchpad to kind of feel like a starting point. So even if you do feel like you are restarting or are aging out or are at the end of some period of your life, you have a kind of a home base to return to and figure out, okay, what's next for me? Where am I going from here?
Yeah, absolutely. And those are tough years, right? When you're trying to really figure out like how to adult. I mean, everyone can relate to that. That is not easy, especially with, other circumstances on top of it. So love what you guys are doing. Love the people you're helping. That's awesome. It's definitely much needed. And furniture in general is tough. It's tough to get. It's tough to move. It's tough to find. It's tough to afford. It's a hard concept. So I love that you guys have stepped up and filled that gap in the community. Now, are you primarily just serving these young adults in Omaha, or what is your geographical range?
Mostly. I usually say the greater Omaha area. We do get a little further west, more towards like greater Nebraska. Generally speaking, as far as what we can provide transportation for, like if you come and pick a sofa out, I can really only stay within the greater Omaha area. We will occasionally venture up to like Blair, Fremont, some of the more surrounding areas. Like we work with the Dana campus up in Blair. We'll try to make a day of that, maybe get 2 or 3 folks to shop and take them all their stuff at one time. But generally speaking, mostly within the Omaha area. Now, if you're working with a caseworker and maybe I've seen clients from Scottsbluffs where it's like, hey, we just happen to be in the area. Can we swing by? We need XYZ thing. Cool beans. I got you. That's fine. Awesome. But obviously just limited to what you can take in your car with you that day.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and that makes perfect sense because like you said, just transporting everything alone is, it takes some coordination, right? We can't just, I don't know about everyone else, but I can't just fit a couch in my car. It doesn't quite work that way. So
no, the sofas and dressers are usually pretty limited to either, you're inside the Omaha metro area, or we do work a significant portion of what we try to make sure that every client gets. All the furniture is first come, first serve, except beds. We will always make sure that every client that wants one gets a bed for themselves. And then any custodial children, they'll get some sort of safe sleep option. So we fly through cribs and pack and plays, all sorts of mattresses, but we will, in cases where we need to, we'll purchase mattresses that are in a box. So they'll usually fit in a sedan. So maybe you are living in Norfolk and you and your 2-year-old both need a bed. Well, I can get a queen mattress and a twin mattress that will fit in the trunk of a standard size car, and you can take them with you. So even though I can't necessarily drive them to Norfolk for you because my volunteer team doesn't go that far, we can usually try to problem solve that and still make sure that everyone has that dignifying experience of having a bed.
That's awesome. I love that. That's stuff I wouldn't even have thought of. So kudos to you guys for problem solving.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things. We implemented that program not long after I came on board. That was one of the things where, when you're operating on a nonprofit budget and you're going, okay, I have limited dollars. What are we going to get the most bang for our buck here? Beds are a huge one. We want to make sure that everyone has access to a healthy and safe night's sleep, especially for babies and toddlers. We want some sort of safe sleep option that's going to make sure that everybody is getting good rest and able to start their days.
Absolutely. Oh, love that. So what other, outside of the rebrand and all the day-to-day stuff you do, what other big initiatives or events do you guys have coming up here in the I guess the rest of the year. We're at the start of the year.
Yeah, we are cruising through February. So like I mentioned earlier, our new executive director, Sean, he just came on board with us last September. He's really been kind of relaunching and revamping our mentor program, which is actually, again, historically what Partnership for Hope did, even well before they took over operations of the Youth Mart side of things. Youth Mart was actually founded by OHB. That's why we're on their campus. They allow us to use their facilities, and we love that. But that mentoring side is really what Partnership was founded to do. And he's doing a great job of just kind of restarting that. So if community members are looking to become a mentor or even just learn more about what that's like, mentoring young adults, that's a little bit unique, that it's not children. We have lots of mentoring opportunities for young people, but we have our mentor meetups that we do monthly. We can always reach out to myself or Sean, kind of keep the community updated. We have routine events just to continue letting folks know that that's an option, and that's always kind of built out to what everyone's schedule looks like. So I know that's not a clear date. I don't have any
that's okay.
Other than their meetups on the first Thursday of each month. We don't have any current events planned, but that's why we'd love you to contact us, because then we'll schedule an event.
I love that.
With you, learn about mentoring. So
yeah, well, and who doesn't need a mentor in their life, right?
I
think everyone can think back to someone influential in their world, and that was always in the form of a mentor. So I think we all know.
And that's kind of the exciting thing about our community-based mentor. No one's really excluded from it. We have peer mentoring. So if you're a younger person and have maybe lived experience in this, maybe you're only 25 or 26 and are well, I'm not all the way, figured it out yet, but I've gotten through, some stuff. Be a peer mentor. We would love that. Having that recent lived experience is so helpful to the young adults we work with. Or, vice versa. You might be I'm retired. I have nothing to offer a 25-year-old. Can you knit or play board games or open a bank account?
Do something.
Just being a person for young people to be connected to, and just foster community relationships that sometimes might be unexpected. That's kind of the core of our mentoring program. So
that's beautiful. Do you find that a lot of the mentees will turn around and become mentors after they're kind of in a more stable position?
Yeah, so that's actually the core of what our peer mentor program is young folks that have, maybe been with us for a long time and are kind of okay, I've overcome some hurdles. This is what worked for me. This is what didn't. This is what frustrated me. We have as well an emerging adult council. So we also try to get feedback from those young folks as to what was helpful from our programming, not just in general, but okay, what are we doing? How can we change our programming and shift things to make it more useful or make it more appealing? Because as we know, as young people, sometimes we're jaded and we're just hey, no, I don't need that. I don't want to do that. I don't need a mentor. And then all of a sudden you're oh, maybe I do. So we're just constantly trying to find ways to make this process more appealing, more dignifying, more useful. Just, make sure we're providing a service, not just another thing on the checklist. So, and we have a lot of young folks that become donors as well.
Awesome.
It's exciting to maintain those relationships with young folks that we've really watched come through a long time.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm sure you get to kind of see them, survive and then thrive, as we were talking about earlier. So that's
surviving and
awesome.
thriving.
Yes.
So.
Well, and that's what makes it all worth it every day, is just to see them go through and come out on the other end successful. Love that.
Have that ongoing process and just kind of connecting the dots between, material resources, but then also, sustainable growth in other areas of your life as well. They're all connected, and they can be so hard when many of our programs and services can feel very specific or siloed. So just kind of helping navigate those resources, figure out what's available to you, what's the most useful to you. That's my personal passion. I know that's Sean's passion as well. So it's very exciting for us with the rebrand, just to kind of finally see those pieces of all these separate things kind of coming together into one cohesive process.
Yeah.
That serves both young adults we work with and the community at large.
Yeah, you're finally being able to see the full puzzle. And I love that. Well, outside of, becoming a mentor, donating some of those much needed items, do you have other volunteer opportunities for community members?
We do. We have like a neighborhood teams program. So if it's something where, you're often seeing, like how I got started, hey, I see items in my Buy Nothing group get tossed all the time, or people in my book club or whatever you're already involved in want to do these kinds of things. We'll come out, we'll talk to you about what we do, let you guys know like what's most useful to us. And then maybe you can start a group where it's like, hey, we make a monthly donation, or, I just have a Rubbermaid tote in my entryway. And then when it fills up, then I bring it to you. That way it's not 10 people trying to schedule 10 different appointments for 10 individual items. We'll kind of try to batch those. So that's always an option for volunteering, just kind of keeping an eye out, and then providing transportation. Again, the mentoring opportunities, we do offer truck brigade opportunities. So if you want to carry couches up 15 flights of stairs, I've got you. We can do that.
I would love to know those people as well, because I'm going to move soon. So have them call me.
It's great. We love it. And then, even just participating with other agencies, if you're like, wow, I'm not super able-bodied, I don't want to throw couches around on a 110-degree day. Like I said, we operate on that partner, do what you do best and partner for the rest. So maybe an access period packing party or a diaper bag packing party is more your style. Those things still benefit us because we use those services. We collaborate with those agencies. We're all serving the same clients in the same communities. And we really do want this to be a collaborative, community-centered event. So,
absolutely, those are all good opportunities. They all sound like fun, except for maybe the 15 flights of stairs for me personally. But I love that. Was there anything else that you want to share with everyone? Anything else we can expect to see, or that we should be keeping an eye out for from Launchpad?
You can always go to our website. We have like a newsletter we'll send out about monthly where, like, hey, these are currently the items that we're looking the most for. I've never quite figured out what the flow is. Everyone must like get dressers all at the same time, because I'll get like 100 of them and then I'll be like, oh my gosh, I have no couches. And then it'll flip. And I'm like, what is happening? Just keep an eye out on Facebook posts, emails, and stuff like that. We'll keep you posted as to what we need the most of and what we've run out of space for the moment. All those kinds of things. And then just reach out to us. We really want this experience to always be community-based. If there's something that you want to do that you think would be useful, we'll set that out, figure that out. That is my entire job, is just trying to make this be more of a back and forth of community members, helping influence what we do, helping our young folks influence what we do, and make sure that back and forth is, kind of that mutual aid dynamic.
I love that. Well, you heard it, everybody. Go check out their website, sign up for the newsletter, stay involved in what they have going on. I really, really, really appreciate your time, Morgan. It's very exciting. So excited for Launchpad to launch. And obviously you've been going, but with the new name and everything. So I just can't thank you enough for stopping by and sharing what you guys do and how people can get involved. And looking forward to seeing you next time.
Perfect. Thanks so much for having us. We appreciate it as well.
Of course. Well, thanks, everybody.